What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by two things. Since we don't do any sponsorships here on the channel, I'll go ahead and show them out real quick. The first is my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound. And the second is a new podcast I just launched called Chasing Infinity. It is myself and ChatGPT as my AI co-host, so check it out. Let me know what you think. Links are in the description below. I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, I want to do a little bit of an experiment here with not even an experiment. I just want to look at the marketplace, and I want to compare Untamed and Rebellion, right? A set that is currently in print versus a set that is no longer in print and no longer in modern format, and compare the prices. And the reason I want to do this is because I think you'll be surprised. Now, I haven't gone through all of the different rarities and card types and such, so we're going to do some of this together. But I think you'll see why I wanted to make this video in the first place. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm only looking at the core sets for both Rebellion and Untamed. I don't want to bog things down with promo and reward cards, especially because reward cards for Rebellion right now are at a premium, right? It's 20x to unlock it, and there's just not much card liquidity. In fact, there's not much card liquidity for Rebellion in general. But let's go ahead and start here, and what I want to do is take a look at the summoners. So if we start with the legendary summoners, what do you notice? Well, Untamed summoners are holding their value quite well, right? So Kitty's at 74, Jotun's at 40, but those are maybe some outliers. Those have always been quite dominant. Yes, you have Tofu up here at 40 bucks, but look who's right behind Tofu. It's Chancius at 36, and you got Scarred Llama Mage at 29. You even have Lear Deep Swimmer at 20 bucks. The only one that's like out of, I don't know, not range, but like the only one who's super low is Mimosa Nightshade, and I love this card. I can't believe it's actually going for $6, which is kind of crazy right now. So maybe I'll have to jump in and eat up that liquidity off the market. I would say when you look at that, it's the cards are holding their value quite well. Now, actually, let me take a step back here. I'm going to give a shout out to Pomp, who's a frequent commenter, who was making a comment about how, my wild cards, right, are no longer holding their value. And therefore, it's like not worth it for me to play, right? So obviously complaining about the wild pass and saying that it's not affordable. But I'm looking at affordability right here. I'm not going to talk about the wild pass and how much you have to earn. Again, that's a separate topic, and I understand the grievance. But in terms of like cards holding their value, well, okay, we're going to go down that road. We started with legendary summoners. Now let's go over to the rare summoners, of which each of these has one. And you'll see Avina's at the top. Then you have Bortis at number 2, right? And Avina has some sick combos. That's why she's like literally miles ahead of everybody in her own class, right? It's Avina at over $1, and then half of that is the next one, Underboss Fabino. But I would give this, at this point in time, I would give this to the Rebellion cards, because you can see clearly, right, the Rebellion ones are all on top. Is that potentially due to power creep? Yeah, I mean, I would say so, right? Rather than just getting stuck with one buff or debuff, you have the option to do one or the other, right? And actually impact the game with tactics. So, I can chalk it up. I'm not trying to make excuses, but this one obviously goes to Rebellion. Now, here's the thing. Right now, there's a lot of there's a lack of card liquidity for Rebellion, and that may not change, right? Like Rebellion may be underprinted compared to even Untamed after when it's all said and done. But at this point in time, again, I'm just showing you that even at this level, right? Like some of these cards, Mother Kala, Drake of Arnak, Contessa, are actually above Nomos. And I would even say that they're within striking distance, right, of the other cards here. You have Rekla at 35 cents. This is Mother Kala's at 28, 25. Like they're all kind of in the same range, right? The only one that's miles above the rest is Avina. And then, of course, you have Bortis, which is also miles above the rest of its own class. Okay, so let's look at the units now. And like I said, I haven't looked at all of these, so we're going to do this together. Let's just start with the legendaries. And immediately, what do you see here? Okay, the top 3 are going through to cards that are crucial in the modern meta right now: Venka, Darg, and Rage. But after that, it's a slew of all of these Untamed cards, right? Kron, Magnor, High Priest Darius, right? And so, yes, you're going to have your chase cards, we'll call them, in packs, right? These airdrops, essentially, and look at this, Venka and Rage were both airdrops that were highly sought after and highly crucial to the meta. But then after that, I mean, everything else looks competitive with the top cards from Untamed. So, I mean, again, I'm just saying, and we're looking only at single BCX here, but that is the baseline price. But you're seeing a nice mix of Rebellion and Untamed all throughout. Let's go down. I'm just going to go straight to the common cards now and see where we're at with this. All right. So once again, you have Lurking Puffer and Dagon Dark Surveyor, two cards that I would say are clutch to the meta, especially with the 2-mana, no attack, weapons training ability. And aside from that, yeah, I mean, look, the common cards are actually quite in Rebellion's favor. But even still, 27 cents per BCX, 22 cents per BCX, and the third one here is going to be Failed Summoner, which we all know is actually quite a crucial card. Regardless, it's fantastic, right? The rest will go to Rebellion, but I maintain, even though they're technically higher on the list, it's a penny difference, because the next card, right? Look at all these cards, 15, 16, 17 cents. And then you go to Lone Boatman, which is at 14 cents. You go here to Cave Slug at 14, Albatross at 11, right? So these cards are somewhat interspersed and their values are actually doing quite well. So what am I trying to get at here, right? Because we don't have to go through all the rarities. What am I trying to get at here? The primary thing is that cards are holding their value. Now, I'm saying that, and that holding their value is such a loaded term because you need to understand where the time preference or time context is to that. So if we look, right, if you look at the height of the bull run and people buying Jotun for $1,000 a BCX, yeah, everything's down compared to that, right? But if you consider the fact that these cards all came from similar packs, which are actually cheaper technically, right? So $2 cheaper than the Rebellion packs. So technically Rebellion cards should be even more expensive, twice the value if you think about it, just from a pack price perspective. But you're seeing these cards actually holding their value quite well. And this is compared to the set that's currently in print and also, I would say, is severely underprinted just due to the fact that the demand hasn't been there, at least not as of yet. And I'm recording this in early October. So in case, Rebellion sales explode, then you know the context for this video. But I believe that this is super important. I'm not going to sit here and make a claim that like Rebellion's going to hold its value incredibly well in the long run, right? I don't know that. I can't make that claim. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I am saying if you take the anomaly that Chaos Legion was and remove it from the mix and compare one set to the other, and factor in that one set is currently in print, the other one has been out of print for a while and is no longer in modern format, you'll see that the card values are actually decent, right? Of course, there's going to be garbage cards in every set, right? There's always going to be garbage cards in every set. But, and the cream will rise to the top and the garbage will float to the bottom. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at these cards and thinking to myself, Untamed held its value quite well. Compared to where it was pre-2021 boom, this is actually quite good for it. Will Rebellion stay at this level? Again, it's hard to say. Maybe we sell a bunch more packs and the value comes down. Maybe, at some point in the future, some of these cards get balanced with other future cards coming out. And so therefore, like Venka's not as great, or Darg's not as great, or Rage isn't as great. I don't know. But even take these outliers out, right? Take these outliers out and you're going to look at the rest of these cards and you know what? It's not bad. I mean, it's actually comparable to Untamed. So just wanted to share that perspective with you guys because I think, this idea that, once something goes to wild format, it loses its value. Again, I'm not saying that it doesn't lose utility, which it does, right? Because you can no longer play it in modern format. But I would say the value, which is a very subjective term, is debatable because we're looking at this from a set that's currently in print and very tight in terms of circulating supply versus a set that's not in print and not in modern format and has less utility. Sure, it has some utility on land, right? A little bit more utility on land, but that's kind of the point, right? We're trying to preserve some of that utility in the long run for land. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about this because I was surprised to see very comparable numbers across all rarities and across different card types. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. So let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.